Kano model, however, is one of the first ones to look at, and the Kano model is divided into 3 zones here. The zone I'm focused on first is the defined zone. The defined zone basically says, hey, these are requirements that if we invest more in, we get a better return on. That is, the better the investment, the better the return. And so these are the ones I find that often they'll tell you about. So we look at people capturing requirements, we'll typically capture the defined requirements. The green zone or wow zone here, the wow zone says, hey, if I had this requirement, cool, but if I didn't have it, I wouldn't really notice. In my sit-down class, I kind of joke with the people, when they came in and sat down, no one complained that there wasn't a $20 bill on their chair. But had there been a $20 bill on their chair, they would have said, wow, that's really cool. Right? Now, a wow says a little bit goes a long way. That is, I make a moderate investment, I get a lot of the wow factor. I don't have to keep investing that over and over again. The last one, the sort of red one at the bottom, I call the hygiene zone. The hygiene zone says, if it's there, no one notices, but if it's missing, everyone's really upset. Now, again, with my physical class, I say, gosh, how many of you asked that there be chairs here when you showed up? What? None of you asked for chairs? Yet how many of you have been really, really upset had there been no chairs? Yes, you all would have been really upset. So here's the deal is, hygiene ones are ones they often don't even bother to tell you because they just expect you to know they're there. No one said, will there be chairs in this classroom? Will there be adequate lighting? Will you have breathable oxygen? None of that was asked for. Yet, had I not supplied that, they would have been really, really upset. And without the oxygen, kind of dead, right? But that's not the point here is that hygiene ones tend to have this issue where if you don't seek them out or build them, they're not going to be happy regardless how well you do in the defined or the wow. So if you look at priority on this one, you might say number 1 priority might be the hygienes because I need to do a little bit now. Again, low investment, just enough to get it going. I didn't have to have lazy boy recliners in my classroom, but I couldn't have metal folding chairs either, right? It wasn't going to cut it for a 3-day class. Define would be number 2. Got to get those out and wow number 3, which is kind of interesting because if you talk to a marketing person, they might say my number 1 priority are the wows. Number 2 are the defines, and they don't even bother to tell you about the hygienes. This is a big problem for a lot of my Agile teams because the product backlog, which is owned by the business, typically doesn't have the hygiene items in there. And so we have to figure out a way to make some hygiene things happen because if we don't get those things down, it doesn't matter how well we do on the defined or the wows. Now, you combine this with the Robertson's satisfied, dissatisfied metrics. So we saw that in another session on individual templates. And you can start saying how you can use this to say where I am on the Kano model. Let me give you an example of this one. Say that you're checking into a hotel and you go into you go in and you look at the bathroom and it's clean. How happy or satisfied are you? Well, you're satisfied, but it's a 2, maybe a 3 because you expected it to be clean. However, if you walk in and it's really dirty and nasty, how dissatisfied are you? You're a 5, right? You're really upset because that's really a nasty environment. Now, let's change the pace a little bit. Let's say you're driving a long drive on the highway and you need to use the bathroom, so you stop at a gas station and you walk in and the bathroom is spotless, shiny, clean. How satisfied are you? Wow, you're a 5 now. It's like, wow, that's a really clean bathroom. This is excellent. If you walk in, the bathroom is kind of scummy and dirty. How dissatisfied are you? Well, not totally 2, maybe a 3, because, hey, at least it's a bathroom, right? At least you got one. And so you can see how the same situation, walking into a bathroom, based on your expectation, can start saying where you kind of are on the Kano model. Is it a wow, a defined, or a hygiene? And as you can imagine, wow things tend to migrate down to hygiene over time. And so new wows are always being trimmed up. So this can help us set priority a little bit, thinking about the expectations.